Welcome to Math for the Real World. I am Jennifer Zollinger and I will be your instructor for the course. Just want to introduce myself a little bit. I have taught online classes for BYU Idaho for 4 years now and really enjoyed doing that. And I also teach math classes for Snow College. My husband and I both teach math there, and that's a lot of fun to do as well. We have 2 boys, and so our oldest boy is going to be 17 in a couple of weeks, so that's kind of crazy. And then our younger son is 14, and they both definitely keep us busy. They're going different directions all this time, I think. All right, I want to kind of show you around our course a little bit here. And so let me go back to our homepage. What you'll see here, and so up here you'll find recent announcements. I don't have any there yet, but please read the announcements. I often make video announcements like this one, so make sure you watch those. I try and put important information there, things that'll be helpful, and so make sure you're paying attention to those announcements. And let's see, here, the Your Instructor tab, that will take you to my information. And so if you need my email address or my virtual office, those things are here. You can also use this inbox here in Canvas to contact me. And that's really the best way to contact me is by email. And so I do try to respond to those within 24 hours. And so if you found I haven't responded to your email in that time frame, then send me another one, because sometimes things happen. Emails get sent to spam or whatever, things happen, and I don't get your email sometimes, and so I do want to make sure we can stay in contact. So do that if I haven't responded to your email and you need a response. Other ways that are great to communicate using the announcements, and so if you use those announcements, act as discussion boards, and so you can reply to the announcement and communicate with each other and with me, and I really strongly encourage you to post your questions there on those discussion boards, because chances are if you got a question, so does everybody else, and this allows me to respond there, and then the whole class gets the information, and so that's really great. And you can also help each other out there, and so I really highly recommend you use that as well. All right, let's take a look here in your syllabus, and I am not going over everything in here, so make sure you do that on your own. Do want to touch on a few things though, and so required materials. Microsoft Excel. We use Excel quite a bit, have a lot of assignments in there, and so that is required. And you can download that for free, Microsoft Office, and so there's a link for that here. You'll also want to have a calculator, and so a scientific calculator can do almost everything you need, and that's fine. Graphing calculator is great to have because we do a fair amount of graphing in the class, and so I do recommend one. If you don't have one, they are pricey, and so Desmos is a great free option, and so they have online calculators, online graphing, and it works really well. And if you need a hand with that, I can help you out. They also have apps for your phones that you can use for Desmos, and so that works really great. You also need a microphone, so you'll have group discussions each week, and you'll need to be able to communicate that way, and so microphone is required. Webcam recommended, and so not required, but it is really great if you can see each other's faces while you're in your group meetings. So I do recommend the webcam as well. All right, as far as your grading, here's the different types of assignments: reading quizzes, group assignments, your homework, those Excel assignments there, and then exams. And so notice exams are 50% of your grade. That's quite a bit. So please prepare carefully for exams. They're kind of important. But along with that, and so what we'll have, we have 3 units, and at the end of each unit you will have an exam. And then we have an optional final exam at the end of the semester. And so I recommend take the final exam because that allows you to drop your lowest exam score. And so if you don't take the final exam, that's the score that's dropped, and your other 3 exam scores just stay. But if you take the final, then whatever is your lowest exam score, that's dropped. And so that's a nice option if you didn't do as well as you wanted to on one of the exams. All right, I'm going to let you look at the rest of that on your own. Let's look at what we've got here. And so here's your each week laid out. If you click the Start Here button, that takes you to the beginning of your modules. And so here's our textbook. You may have noticed in those required materials, textbook was not listed. That's because we have a very nice online textbook. And so if you click on that link, it takes you here. And so these are the different topics we'll be using. And as we go into the textbook, you'll see we have videos in here, worked examples. We also have practice problems for you. And so these are not graded problems, but I recommend you do these practice problems just to make sure you have the understanding of the material there. But that's our textbook right there. And so each week, you're expected to do the reading in the textbook, and often, not every week, but most weeks there will be video lessons. And so the first few don't have video lessons, but you'll see as we go on, we start to have video lessons as well. And so I'd recommend do your reading, watch the video lesson before you take those reading quizzes that you have each week. All right. As far as your other assignments, in a typical week, what you'll see, you'll have assignments that are due on Thursdays, and then you'll have assignments due on Saturdays. And so those are the typical due dates you need to watch for: Thursday by midnight, Saturday by midnight, and of course those are Mountain Standard Time. And so pay attention to those due dates there. And so week 1, maybe not totally typical, but what you'll often see are reading and the reading quizzes, video lessons, and then you'll have group assignments that are due on the Thursday with your homework and case studies typically due on the Saturday. And so that's what you'll find typically as far as your work goes in the week. Mobius, here it has a link for the tutorial. Your link for actual Mobius isn't up and working yet, so I can't show you that yet. But that's where you will do most of your homework, and so your practice math problems, homework assignments will be in Mobius. And so I'll try and make a video and show you around Mobius, but here's the tutorial. That's where you'll access that homework, is through that. And so, like I say, I'll try and show you that later since it's not up and working yet in here. But that's where you'll have your homework. As far as due dates go and deadlines, most of these are pretty hard and fast. You do need to get them in there. The assignments will close after that deadline, and you will not be able to turn them in after the deadline. The exception to that are the case studies, and so case studies will be open for an additional week after the deadline. And so you're welcome to turn it in still after the deadline, those case studies, but you will be docked 50% on those assignments if they are turned in late. And of course, if you have, you know, a reasonable excuse for not getting it in, then I can work with you on these things, but really important that you try and pay attention and get things in on time. Those deadlines are solid deadlines, and you need to have your homework in by those deadlines. All right, I hope this helps you get started on things. Please do let me know if you have questions, and so please post those on this announcement if you have them, or if it's something more personal, you can send me an email or message me through Canvas here as well. And so I'm really excited to be working with you this semester and can't wait to get started.